ago?
I wasn't in my trouble. It was just some friends got drunk and they beat each other up, and I went outside to see what was going on. And then as I tried to proceed back inside the place of the venue, and it was New Year's Eve, the police were pretty on like this. There was only a few words that they said, and in New Zealand they're pretty tolerant. You know, over here they have zero tolerance in California, and I just said, I think the second time I said, I just want to get my girlfriend and leave, and then the guy flips the baton, and that's, I don't know what came over me to try and say, what are you going to do with that? You know, and then he just mazes me, and I don't know what, but that was what it was over. It was drunk and disorderly, and I didn't even have a drink. That's ridiculous, man. You know, I was like, I had to bend over and everything. Hey man, what? You don't know about bending over for not even drinking. That's ridiculous, man.
And do you see yourself as an underdog or a favorite?
I'm always the underdog in every fight. And Junior was the best fighter in the world, so of course I'm the underdog. And but that's good for me. I mean, when people don't see it coming, that's when it hurts the most. So it's good for me.
And do you think that after this you should get a title shot if you get past Junior?
Yes, of course. It's got to be me. If I beat Junior on the weekend, it's got to be me that gets the title shot.
When that situation was going about, what was your goal for getting in the UFC? I mean, what did you hope to accomplish here? Have you kind of already surpassed what you wanted to do?
Well, look, man, I've been the best fighter in the world as a kick fighter, and I've always been a fighter, and you know, even after losing, like I explained to the other guy, after losing 6 fights in a row, to still think inside my heart that I still would be the best fighter in this world is kind of ridiculous. But even when I was declined, you know, and from the UFC saying we don't want you. You know how that feels to be not wanted by any employees? You don't want me? Wait a minute, I'm the best fighter in the world. How could that be? It felt really disheartening, and you know, I had a lot to prove. You know, to say, man, you can't. You know, it's really hard to sit there and think that you're not wanted because you're not good enough, and not just fighting in anything. When someone says that to you, you're not good enough in your whole life, you feel upset. It makes me angry. What do you mean I'm not good enough? What do you mean I can't have that cheeseburger? What do you mean I can't have that?
So more so than getting wins in the UFC or anything else or money.
Money.
It was more about pride. You don't want me, so I'm going to show you why you want me.
Yes. Ain't no one that should tell me that I'm not good enough. Why should anyone in the whole world, or even any kids, when you say, oh, should be felt like that? You know, I just didn't feel good about being said, you're not good enough to be here. I've been told that my whole life as a kid. Then, guess how I started fighting.
Conversely, how difficult was it then to deal with the loss to McCourt, seeing that he wasn't a huge name?
But that's like I said, like the same, another loss in my thing, and still feeling that way. It's like, man, it just gives me more drive and hunger to prove people wrong that, and to say to them, man, I'm a good kid, you know, I deserve to be here, and I don't want to be told, you can't tell me I'm not good enough. Don't tell me I'm not good enough. Because I'll prove you wrong, whether I have to move the whole earth. Look, man, you probably didn't get told you're not good enough. As a kid, I had that a lot. So as growing up, you know, it happened to me a lot. And that's how I got into a lot of altercations, getting told I wasn't good enough. What? Anything. It just gives you the drive to just get more hungry and say, man, I'm gonna show you this guy. I'm gonna show you the whole world.
You have shown us the last 4 fights you've won. Talk about the other streak, talk about losing, but now talk about this winning streak that you're on.
Well, I glory that to my faith in Christ, and then, you know, the belief that He's given me from the inside. He's taken away the one for money and all that sort of crap. I'm not interested in that stuff anymore. I'm not interested in any of that stuff. I don't care if I have $10 or $10 million in my pocket. It's not about that anymore. It's about, well, I'm not good enough.
Do you watch his fights?
You know, I've watched maybe two fights, and I was pretty impressed. I mean, he was the world's best. Pretty talented fighter, so.
A lot of people think speed's going to be the name of this fight. His speed, of course, your countering ability and your power. What do you say to that? People say he's faster, and that's how he's going to win the fight.
Well, look, speed, man. When someone gets hit really, really hard in the head, a few times, actually a lot of times, their speed, just like their fitness, goes out the door.
How come you only watch 2 of his fights?
I don't know. Because that's what my coach is showing me in training techniques. Otherwise, I wouldn't have watched it.
You usually don't watch film on your opponents? You don't?
No.
How come?
Hey man, I just don't. I mean, the fight's different from. Someone's always going to be different when they go into the fight, you know. Yeah. So when they go into the fight, they're different people. They're not going to do something the same all the time, but maybe they're going to do something else the next time. Well, I'm always the underdog, so he probably is like everyone else.
Mark, what happens when you're not the underdog anymore? Because if you win this fight, you know, a lot of people that say that you're not good enough,
I probably won't be fighting anymore if I'm the top guy. I don't like to be the lead horse.
So they like to be the underdog?
Yes.